Evening all, Marcus here, back again with another video, back again with another Oculus Go video. And in this video I want to cover some of the quality of life and software tweaks and changes I think we need on the Oculus Go. The Oculus Go had a firmware update not so long ago and added a few little tweaks here and there to kind of improve things. But I think there's a few things we could probably tweak even more to make the experience even better. Now I'm a big Reddit user, so I've gone to the Oculus subreddit and I've been checking out your comments and sort of seeing what you guys are posting, what sort of things you're frustrated by, things you'd like to see changing, sort of thing. So they're built into this list as well. Let's go through them and let me know in the comments down below if there's any that I've missed. Number one is adding your own 360 photos on the Oculus Go homepage. So if you look around here, I've got the 360 dog one. Personally, I thought it was quite cool just because it's actually quite clever. This person's taken the time to cut all these different dogs out, which are obviously the same dog over and over again, just in different positions, and put the picture all together. So respect for that. But if you go to library and then to environments, you can see we do have 15 to choose from. So varying from sort of nice apartment rooms to Grand Canyon to space and Arctic and beach and all that sort of stuff. But why don't we have the option to upload our own 360 photos? A lot of us have 360 cameras, so I think it'd be nice to be able to upload some, you know, family shots or something we've taken a picture of, or a certain type of environment, or anything we've created or found on the internet. I think it'd be great. Next up, I think we need the option to customize the scrolling action of the touchpad. Not all apps do it the same, which is frustrating, but sometimes it's not as natural as you think it is. So say for example on the home screen here, you swipe right to left to move over, but some people feel that sort of swiping sort of left to right to almost push yourself forward is more natural to them, but there's no options to be able to change that. And the same goes for sort of vertical motion. Most of the time it's kind of pull down to go down, sometimes it's push up to go down and you scroll up. So it's not consistent in all apps. I think if anything, if it was consistent in all apps, that would help. Every app seems to be a little bit different. But give us the option, you know, on the home page at least, give us the option under settings to change it. We all know the Oculus Go has a USB port, but it doesn't natively support plugging in, say, a USB stick or a hard drive or anything like that to access media. Now things can be plugged in, but they don't work. You can use side-loaded apps to be able to do that, but that's a fair bit of a workaround to be able to access files that are on there. You can, for example, connect your phone and transfer files back and forth, but natively it's not supported. And it'd be great if inside the Oculus Go itself, in its native apps or any other apps, we're given access to be able to plug in USB drives and that sort of thing. And it has been talked about by the developers, and they are going to implement it, but you know, it couldn't come soon enough, especially for those that bought the 32 gig version and they're like that little bit extra storage, maybe loaded up with some films or programs or something when they're on the go. So next up are some more options around your online status and kind of specifically around your sort of friends list. So if you kind of look at the moment, the only real options you've got is to set yourself to do not disturb, but there's no kind of option to kind of set yourself as offline even though you're online, that sort of thing, because sometimes, you know, we all want to hide. There may be some options around sort of what you're open to. So maybe a status to show that you're open to playing multiplayer games, you want to watch a movie together, you're up for chatting, that sort of stuff. And if they add that sort of thing in, you can turn that on, and then you know that you can quickly give somebody a call on here or join a certain game, or a bit like on Xbox where you can kind of make it obvious what sort of game you're looking to play. So you can sort of say looking to play Rush, and then obviously somebody could contact you to say I'll play with you, that sort of thing. I think that'd be great and definitely add to the social interactivity of the Oculus Go. Number 5. Blue light filter. I don't know if like me, on your mobile phone I have it so when it hits 8 o'clock at night, my screen kind of dims slightly orange. That helps with eye strain in the evening. So it's more in line with kind of the lights that you have in your house. So you're not looking from sort of orange lights in your house to a blue screen and back and forth sort of thing, which can cause some people headaches. I mean, I've never really had the issue myself, but I still do it now anyway, because I think why not? You know, if it's going to help, you never know. It's meant to help with sleeping and that sort of thing, so you're not sort of as buzzed, or your brain mentally doesn't think that it's daytime when you go to bed. And then when it gets to sort of 7 o'clock in the morning, my phone then switches to a bluer screen. So it more naturally matches sort of outdoor light. And once again, makes my brain and my eyes do less work because all the light and all the colours kind of match, rather than straining to go from one colour type to the other. I know the developers are looking to implement this one, but if we can get that option with a timer as well, that'd be perfect. Because the Oculus Go is set up as an Android device, I mean that's its core software that it runs on, very similar to Gear VR, so there should be no real reason why we can't have Google Play Store. The Oculus TV is a good example where people are side-loading normal Android apps and they're working and playing and functioning very well, and near perfectly for most of them, on the Oculus Go. It gives you a 2D space to project them onto, and for the most part you can control them. Now there are some downsides to that. Not all apps work perfectly, some work better than others. For the most part I think it's definitely a feature people would love to see, and especially if it was officially supported, I'm sure the implementation would be even better. Most apps these days only require one finger anyway, so a one-handed controller I think would work quite well and be able to control pretty much all apps. They don't really even need to be landscape or portrait apps. I mean, you can imagine that the Oculus Go can kind of use either, because you know, you're looking around in 3D space. So pretty much every app should work. Go on Oculus, think of all those apps, all those experiences we can add into the Oculus Go, just to add all that extra content for people to download and enjoy. It'd be brilliant. Next up, I think support for 2 controllers would be quite good, even if it was just this controller. So if Oculus made another one of these available for 30 quid, I think I'd probably buy one. And then I could have 2 controllers to do some two-handed gaming. I think that'd be quite good. There are times where you could probably like pull out and pull in, a bit like you're using 2 fingers, say on a phone, especially in relation to the previous one I've just mentioned with Google Play Store. I think that could work really well. They'd be a lot similar to the Oculus Rift and the Vive, because they both have 2 controllers. Now granted, they'd still be kind of stuck in 3D space, you wouldn't kind of physically move them back and forward, but I think the option to kind of point different ways and do different things with 2 different hands and swap things between the 2 hands would add a lot of depth and open up a lot of functionality for a lot of games and make them much closer to full-fledged PC VR experiences. I'm sure developers would love to bring over some of their Oculus Rift games, but because we only have 1 controller, it kind of limits it a little bit. So maybe if we had 2, it'd open up so many more options. Next up is a suggestion for Oculus's Rooms app. Now the Rooms app is really good. It gives you a room where you can invite people over, you can play games together, you can chat, you can share videos, listen to music, that sort of thing. And you get your own little room that you can kind of hang out in. It's brilliant. But it is kind of limited to just you and your friends. I think ideally it'd be great if there was some sort of room list. So maybe in the options you can kind of create an open room. You could maybe name it, kind of set a theme, let people kind of know what they're joining, and you can let some random people in, just try and build that friend network, because it can be quite tricky to find people to play with sometimes. There are some chat apps out there like VTime and Altspace, but Oculus Rooms is really good. I think it'd be really nice if you could open it up and let more people in. If a game has a price, maybe you just allow people 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes maybe to just jump in, give an app or a game a go, sort of see if they like it before they want to purchase. And then once the time runs out, the app just stops working. I think that'd be a great option and a great way of people to be able to kind of discover and try out new experiences before diving in and spending the money. Especially because there are some apps out there that are sort of £8, £10 or more, and that can be quite a lot for a sort of a mobile game. So I think it'd be nice to kind of give them a test before dropping your money on them. I think one of the great things it would do is give people a chance to kind of play some games, and if they are poor, they won't buy them. But then that kind of helps weed out the poor titles. People won't spend their money on the poor titles, they'll spend it on the better titles because they've given it a go. Which overall should hopefully, over time, developers will sort of put more effort into the games, polish them a little bit more before releasing them on the Oculus Store. And you know, if they end up charging a little bit more for those games going forward, but they are of better quality, absolutely, I'm all up for that. I think that's a great idea. You can purchase things and there is a refund policy, and Oculus are meant to be quite good at refunding stuff. I've not tried it myself, but I think, you know, cut out that customer service element, go straight for the demos trial mode, and it'll save you a lot of hassle. I think it'll open up so many more experiences and apps to people that maybe they would have overlooked because it had a price on it. Screen sharing would be something great to add as well, because at the moment you can only really share your videos directly to Facebook. But obviously there's a big delay on that, so if you were sat in the same room with somebody and you're kind of doing some VR, if you stream it to Facebook, yes they can see it, but it's got like a 20-30 second delay on it. It's not really ideal, and it kind of takes a lot of the fun out of it. Now you can use third-party software like Visor on PC to be able to stream what you see on here onto PC, and there are a few other options as well. But I think natively it'd be great if there's some sort of companion app maybe, where you could stream what's on here to a phone or a tablet. I think that would be perfect. It gives an option for people to kind of play along who are in the room with you together sort of thing. Make it much more sort of immediately sociable with the people around you, family or whatever. I know there's been talk about adding this sort of feature, but whether it's done via a mobile app or some other way, definitely be a bonus, and definitely a way of really showcasing what the Oculus Go is capable of to sort of a bigger audience at the same time, rather than having to wait to take a turn and that sort of thing. There's just 10 things that I think would be great if they kind of tweaked or changed on the Oculus Go on the software side and really add to the quality of life and experience that's offered by the Oculus Go. Let me know in the comments down below if there's any that you think I've missed. What would you like to see? What sort of tweaks and changes would make your experience with the Oculus Go even better? I'd definitely be interested to hear what you've got to say. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. That's fine. I'm big enough and ugly enough to take it if you didn't like it. But do let me know in the comments down below what I did wrong, and I'll try and improve it for next time. Become one of the Remarkables and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified next time I upload a video, as there'll be plenty more Oculus Go content coming. That's me done. I'm out. Have a virtual high five.